April, I am just going to go through a few things on your assignment. So, number one, looks like you did really well. You didn't have the HIV, the B20, which that always gets coded. Looks like you have the Z21, but keep in mind that the reason we're coding B20 because they are showing symptoms of HIV, and when they are showing symptoms, you want to code it out to its full extent. We also needed epilepsy. So otherwise it looks pretty good. I'm not sure you don't need that R56.1 and then a few other codes that you missed. Go on to number 3. You were close. It should be L50.0. We do have the T code. You can compare yours. You have a C code just off a bit. And nice job on your procedure. Okay, let's move on down to number 5. All right, this is a big one a lot of students had. Make sure B20 is your principal diagnosis. The reason is because histoplasmosis is stated as the current problem, and that's related to the patient's AIDS. So whenever AIDS is related, same thing if they come in with sarcomes pneumonia, AIDS is listed first because they're related together. If you have something totally like a fracture and the patient has AIDS, then you would list the fracture first, the AIDS code secondary. But if it's something related to AIDS, B20 always comes first. All right, so your T code looks fantastic. B3 9.9. Otherwise, you did a really nice job on this one. Number 7, good job on listing your 4 T codes first. This is the main thing I've been telling students is when it's poisoning, those poisoning codes are first. Okay, and then the symptoms, it should be acute respiratory failure, J96.00. We have the respiratory ventilation and insertion of the endotracheal airway. Number 9, you did an awesome job. Let's follow to number 11. Okay, looks here like you did another great job. You coded what's wrong with the patient first, and then the adverse effect code second. That's exactly what you want to do. Now, with your R60.1, keep in mind if that's related to our principal diagnosis, I wouldn't code it. X-rays, I'm not sure what code you have. I always tell students, I don't care if you code X-rays. I kind of rule of thumb if it is non-invasive, meaning that they're not going into the body, making an incision or entering the body, you really don't have to code it. Their charge master will catch it. Okay, on to 13. T codes are all first, which is great. Your poisoning codes, your alcohol abuse, just double check all these. I'll have the answers attached. But it looks like your route of sequencing is right on. And then 15, you don't want to put those R codes, signs or symptoms first. Okay? You want to put that fracture first because that's what they're going to be treated for. They did a reposition of that. Signs and symptoms, we are going to go ahead and code them because they're not really related to the fracture. So that's a good job. But again, you want the principal diagnosis to match up with your principal procedure. If the same thing with signs and symptoms, you don't want them first if you have a more pertinent diagnosis that isn't a sign or symptom. All right, chapter 21. That looks good. Spot your extra codes here. They excise the kidney. It should be 0TB, so double check that. Number 2 looks great. Just need a transfusion. Number 3, your T code you have. Nice job on all the procedures. Just double check to make sure that they're really matching up. Number 4, looks like you are on the right track again. Number 5, you stated you're struggling with. This is acute pulmonary insufficiency following non-thoracic surgery, so it's a J code. Then we have our cancer code, which you're going to go to the neoplasm table and look up the supraglottis, and then it's going to be the excision of the larynx. Number 6, the last one, displacement of the bile duct prosthesis. We also have malignant neoplasm of the head of the pancreas, and that's what we have there. Let me know if you still have questions. Make sure you go through the answers, but it looks like you're on the right track. Good job.